Hi all, Graham here. In this game I played Steve at Reading War Games Club. He is using my Persians against my Macedonians. We played the second scenario in the UK Grand Melee schedule. The second scenario was taken from the Book of Battles, the Battle of Heroes, and there were 5 different elements created, and here they are now. I'll go over them after the game in a lot more detail, but if you can pause and have a look, there they are. Here's my Macedonians. I've gone for the same build that I've used previously. It seems to work okay, but I'm not sure it really is the best I can have. Steve is using my Persians, and here is his build. And he's decided to drop the combined formation, and he's gone levy heavy for shooting, which is not a bad idea. As I said before, after the game I will go over the Macedonians, I'll review the game in a lot more detail, and I will also go over the scenario that's been generated from the Book of Battles. Here's the terrain, pretty well, as you can see, fairly open, which I think suits Steve quite a lot. Anyway, hope you like what you see. Please view, feedback, tell me what you think, and let's see what happens. Right, good evening, Steve.
Good evening.
Comms is working. This is always a good start. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm not too bad, mate. Not too bad. I'm glad to see we've signed Declan Rice. Well, hopefully subject to him not having a bad knee, so that's exciting. And I've got tickets for the Charity Shield as well.
Oh, very nice.
Day out of Wembley, one day United might do that.
One day. You watch this next season.
Oh, I'm excited for you.
It's recorded, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So you're using a build which is very interesting. You've not gone. You're playing the later Persians, but you're not using the Sparabara build, which is kind of challenging them. But I tell you what, that's really interesting, the build. In fact, I reckon that could be quite a decent build. So I think I'm going to be hard pressed here to get anything out of you, mate, tonight.
We'll see. First time ever playing the Persians, so we'll see what happens.
No. But having the levy options there, genuinely, normally with the Akhmids, you would have a half guard as your mixed formation, but this time you haven't. So no, really interesting. So genuinely, I think you might have a chance. Maybe you've stumbled across something that everybody's going to want to play. You're a trendsetter. Anyway, I digress. We're playing the second scenario at Grand Melee. The clock is ticking. So without further ado, I'm going to go. So first things first, I'm going to use my Warlord, and he's going to come backwards this way to there, like that. There. Then I'm going to spend a dice, and he's going to skirt around that terrain the best he can. Straight line for 1 is to there, and he's going to go forward to there for 2. So it's 2 M's. So he's got fatigue for. In fact, I could have used I could have used manoeuvre for that. Whatever, doesn't matter. I wanted to move him anyway. So yeah, I'll leave the dice on the companions then. So the first one was manoeuvre, the second one was his determination. So I've still got a dice on the companions. There's one on warriors, like that. I took the wrong one off. He's going to say to the warriors, off you go. And they're going to shuffle forward S, like that. I'm now going to use a warrior activation. I've cocked up here, haven't I? I have. Like that. I'm then going to activate him again. So he's going to be there. Do you wish to slow him down to S?
No.
So he's going to go there, so he's going to have 2 fatigues. That's kind of a mistake by me. And then I'm going to seize the initiative, and I'm going to activate these 2 units. And because they're within M of the Warlord, they move without fatigue. Okay. So we'll like that to there, that to there. Let's turn a little bit like that. Okay. I've got a levy activation. Like that. I'm going to do a manoeuvre with the companions down here, and they're just going to slide in there like that. Ready for your elephant. The Agrarians, they're going to come over here, there, and they're going to get their S bonus as well, so they're going to end up about there. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Apologies about that. I assume I get it on a manoeuvre as well. And that is all I've got. So you've rolled 4 common, 2 uncommon, 1 rare.
Too bad.
Right, Steve's first turn. You've got an orders or orders reaction on outnumber hordes. Are you going to use it in your phase or my phase?
Yeah, I'm not going to use it now.
You're going to save it. That's fair enough.
So first one will be one volley after another.
No, okay, so why you do one volley after another is you need a shooting activation that it hangs off the back of.
Okay.
So you need to use a Warlord to activate a unit to do it.
Yeah, so this one.
So you're going to use your We Obey on that unit, and then you declare I'm going to use one volley after another. That's how it works.
Yeah.
And it's a rare. Okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you fire 3 times basically.
Yeah.
So the first time you fire, I've got an armour of 4, 6 dice, because you are levy. I have an ability, but I'm going to hold on to it. Okay. So you fire. This with 2, 4 to save. Ooh, I lose 3. Perhaps I should have used that ability. Ouch. You activate again to shoot, and at the end of the shooting you get a fatigue. So again it's 4, again it's 6. Again I have nothing to use because you get the ability, you get the Saga, but the fatigue after. 3 this time. 3 to save. Shit. Fucking hell. Oh dear, I'm down to 4. So I've lost 6 phalangites already. You get the fatigue now. Oh dear, I'm down to 4. So I've lost 6 phalangites already. You get the fatigue now, and now you fire a 3rd time. You get 6 because you used a rare. You get an additional 2. You have a fatigue, and you'll get another fatigue after you shoot. I'm going to spend your fatigue, put me up to a 5.
You can use a combat bonus to add an additional
dice. Should have used this last time. I'm going to use imposing presence. Your opponent must discard 3 dice. That's it. 5's needed. Still rolled the 4 though. Steve looks rather sheepish. I lose 3 more. Hell, you just killed 9 in 1 round of shooting. So you get fatigue for that. But then you
take it off, I think.
Then you take it off and you stay with 1 fatigue, don't you? Mm-hmm. Wow. So I've got 1 figure left in that unit. That's not great, is it? Right, what else you got?
Concentrated volley.
Okay, on what target?
This one.
So you've got who in range?
2, I believe.
You've got 2 in range. So you roll 2 dice, and you need to roll higher than their armour to actually kill them. You missed. But the only thing you did fail on today. So that doesn't accrue towards fatigue. What an appallingly bad round for me. Ouch. Right then, what else you got?
And do some manoeuvres. So he's gonna move along the back here.
Done?
Yeah, just move that over a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, my turn. My second turn, so I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice. Well, that's not good either. 3 common, 2 uncommon. I've got intensive training, which increases my poke range from M instead of S. Okay? My Warlord is going to say to these guys, they're going to shoot at the end of their move. Okay? They're going to go to there. Like that. I'm going to activate my Warlord to move.
That is determination.
With his determination, yeah. He's just going to go forward a little bit. To about there. I've got a warrior activation. And I'm going to go forward to there. So they're within poking range of your guys there.
Yeah.
So they're going to have a quick poke. So you've got an armour of 5 because you are hoplites, aren't you?
Yeah.
I've got 5 dice. I've got nothing I want to improve it by. Do you want to do anything at all?
It's not melee. No, don't think there's anything using this one.
5's needed. Just the 4.
Too shabby.
Well, nothing compared to your 9 that you killed. Killed 1. So that's not bad saving, to be fair, Steve. I'm now going to use Seize the Initiative. And it's going to be on this unit here, and this unit here. First of all, this unit's going to go in and charge you. Okay, so this is wrong. You can't use an advanced Saga ability on a mercenary unit. But when you watch the melee and you see the errors I made and see how it turned out, Steve wasn't that bothered anyway. So there we go. Because they go M plus S.
Okay.
Okay.
They'll have a fatigue, right?
They'll have a fatigue, yeah. Not that. Fatigue. First time I've ever seen these guys in action, to be fair. You've got an armour of 3. I've got an armour of javelins 3 also, yeah. I've got 4 in the unit. I've got +1 to my dice because I'm javelin. You've got a fatigue. You've got 4 in your unit. But because you've got a fatigue, I get an additional 3 bonus attack dice. Like that. Okay? I've got a fatigue as well, by the way.
Yes, yeah.
And I'm going to spend your fatigue. Drop you down to a 2.
Yep, I use your fatigue to put me back up to a 3.
Yep. I pass.
I will use Saga, so again 2 attack dice.
Because you are foot. Okay. I pass. So I need. Are you finished?
Yeah, that's it. Nothing else I can do.
Okay, so I need 2 + 1. 1 miss. So you lost 3, which is not too bad, really. Ooh, look at that. Watch that merc unit dissolve. I lost 2. 2 on me, 3 on you. Actually, that's better for you, isn't it? And you retire. Now you've got to retire
And this unit will use its special ability. It will charge, but it won't accrue the fatigue, whereas the other ones did. Yep. So we have a melee.
So they don't get a fatigue?
No, because that was part of the seize the initiative. That was the unit. A unit. It doesn't say both units, it's a unit. I've got 10. You've got how many in your unit?
7.
You only lost 1? Mm-hmm. Damn. You can decide to close ranks.
I'll stay as that.
Okay. I'm going to use Faultless Mastery. It's a rare, so I gained 4 attack dice. Discard as many attack dice from your opponent as half the number you've gained. So I gained 4.
So I lose 2. I'll give you.
You lose 2. 2 back. You can't use any advanced abilities.
No.
So 5's needed then, isn't it? Just the 2. It's your night, mate. Oh no. 2 dead. Back on me. 4's needed. 2 hits. 1 dead. So you go back.
Both have a fatigue.
I take a fatigue. You take a fatigue. I'm going to do a manoeuvre. This way. Turn, Steve.
Okay.
So you've rolled 4 common, 1 common, 1 rare. Okay, so Steve's turn. You've moved your levy up forward, and you've done nothing else, have you?
Not with them yet. No.
So what you're going to use a half guard activation to move them
so
forward.
I can lead one figure, and then the rest can form around.
Yeah, but you have to contact a figure where possible. So it's
So I
got
want
to be
him to come across to there.
Well, you can't go across your own base, can you? So it'll have to be 1, 2, 3, and he piles in behind like that. You're half guard, aren't they? Armour of 5, armour of 3, 8 dice. How many in my unit?
6.
6. I have a fatigue. You have nothing, so...
Actually, I'll just stay with that at the moment. I will use the fatigue to put you down to a 2.
I have nothing I can use. No, nothing I can do, so I pass. So you need anything but a 1. I'm saving on a 4, 5 or 6. Wow, 3 1s though. So I save on a 4, 5 or 6. Need a bit of luck here. Shit! Just the 5.
Gosh,
just the 5. Right, back on you. Needing 5s. Just the 2. Did I have any 4s there?
don't think you did.
I'll have a look in a minute. You lose 2. Okay, so I lost 5, didn't I? Which was not quite the entire unit. But you don't go back, you stay where you are. 4, 5. I go back. S. Fatigue. You got a fatigue on your half card. Right.
Right, so he's going to move into there.
Yes, he can see them now, yeah. Okay, so you're now going to activate them to shoot.
With one volley after another.
He's going to activate them with We Obey, and then one volley after another will follow in. So 4. You got 6 in your unit. You've got a fatigue. You're using 1 volley after. This is your first shot. You've moved as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Did they get the fatigue after the movement? They must have done.
That was their first goal.
Sorry?
That was their first activation.
They've not moved.
They moved once in this goal.
So this is their second activation, is to shoot.
Yeah.
So did they have that fatigue before?
Yes, the last time.
So they're going to have a second fatigue then, aren't they? After the end of the shooting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to spend your fatigue, put me up to a 5. Just the 2. One more. This is your second round of shooting. 4, fatigue, 5, 6. I'll spend it to go up to a 5. Oof. Just the 2. Dead. So the third round of firing doesn't happen because it has to be all on the same target.
Are you not using your bodyguard rule?
Oh, that's a point, yeah. I could lose 2, couldn't I? Good point. Within S, is it S or VS? S. So I can spend 2, which would be him. And it's got to be within VS, so it has to be him then. There's VS between the figures just. Ouch. Now you've got your third round. I spent the fatigue, but you gain 1, and then you're going to shoot again. This time you've got 8 dice. 4, 8, 4, fatigue, 5, 3. I've got 1 I can share the love with, and that half guard dies. So another one goes. Well, that's 3 half guard then. Fatigue goes on, and then you leave that one on with your ability, don't you?
I take it off. I take it off for the ability.
You take it off, so you've got no fatigue at all, because I've been spending it as we go. Ouch.
So he's going to move into there. And he's going to shoot at your little guy.
He's got his little composite bow.
His little 2 composite bow, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Why wouldn't you? So I've got an armour of 4, 2 dice. One. Oh dear. Fatigue bomb. Interesting. Is he within S?
No, but this guy is.
Sorry?
These guys are, that one isn't.
So these guys are R.
Yeah.
They're the ones you wanted, aren't they? Yeah. He's out. Bum.
Yep.
4 dice. Wow. 3 common, 1 uncommon. Frustratingly, my third turn didn't record. But what I did was I loaded the dice up to charge my companions into one of his levy units. We had a melee, and he had Asgara Flame and he had Sagaris. Let's see what happens. Okay, so what happened there was I had 3 half guard. He charged his levy.
Okay, so this is another error, and you can't use Azura's Mazda's Flame on levy. It's only on mounted and combined formation. But hey ho, these things happen.
We had a melee. He used a couple of abilities. I lost 2 half guard. He didn't lose anything. I then came back, and then I used another activation, and I sent it there and to there. And as Steve rolled his dice, and he rolled 6 common dice. Orders reaction. Do you wish to use unnumbered hordes? Don't think you need to really, do you?
Not yet, no.
Not really. I've got no orders, so off you go.
So half guard are going to rest.
Yeah.
You say you can charge him?
Yeah. So you've got armour of 5, armour of 5. I have 2 fatigues. We start there, so...
and then I'll put mine up to a 6.
Armour of 5, armour of 4, because it's my half and guard. You spent one down to 4, I've got 2 dice. Up to 6.
Yeah. And then I'll use Cigaris to get 2 additional attack dice.
Okie dokes. Good luck, Singleton. 4's needed. Just the 3. He's gone. Back on you. Nothing. So that's him gone. Fatigue on your 2 guys. Fatigue for broken friends.
So my half guard's going to use determination just to move into here.
Yep.
He's then going to tell we obey to these guys.
They're going to shoot at my phalanx, are they?
They're going to shoot at them. One volley after another.
One volley after another. Armour of 4. 6 dice. You have a fatigue. Have you got anything to pimp it with?
No.
No, I'll spend your fatigue. Pop me up to a 5. 2. Saved them. Second round of shooting, for which you get fatigue. After, so that comes off and goes back on.
Did you use it again?
Sorry?
Did you use the fatigue to
I
put
don't know,
your
I get the fatigue after, because it's your...
So you're on 4 then, right?
I'm on 4, yeah. It's 4. Two dead. This time you get your... It's not... You didn't have the rare.
It was just a normal one.
So so what does it say? It says, if using a rare, repeat the process, so you don't get that.
You don't get the third one on that one.
But it says at the end of the activations, remove fatigue. So you do remove the fatigue, which is quite nice. So you remove the fatigue from there.
And then I'll use one volley after another.
Sorry, you've used one volley after another, didn't you?
Sorry, concentrated volley. Sorry.
Concentrated volley on. So
same on those 2. Actually, he's not generating a dice, is he?
No.
So yeah, I'll just go with them again.
So
just 2 dice, isn't it? 1 for each.
So they're in range, and
they're those ones as well.
They're in range. So yeah, she just rolled 2 dice, and you need a 5. Two dead. Wow. Right, are you done?
Yeah.
Phil, I'm clinging on here. Oh, 2 rares and a common. I'll re-roll that straight away.
I was going to say, I can see a re-roll coming here.
So I've got 1 common, 2 uncommon, 1 rare. Rest the Warlord. Charge the Warlord into there.
Okay.
So we've got a melee. I've got an armour of 5. You've got an armour of 5. You've got 4 dice. Have you got a fatigue?
Yes.
You've got a fatigue. I've got 8 dice. 2 plus 6, 7, 8. I go first. Spend your fatigue. Drop you down to a 4. No, actually no. Put me up to a 6.
Yeah, I'm going to play Hura Mazat's Flame.
What does it say?
So I get 3 defense dice.
Yeah. In that case, then I have no choice. I'll have to use Xyston at +1 to your attack dice. If you're fighting unit without the mount rule, you get a +1 to your defense dice. So all I get is +1 to my attack. Like that. That's it.
That's it, yeah.
So I need
5s.
4s.
Oh, yeah, because you get that
4
one.
plus 1.
Ooh.
So you save 3. I hit you.
Yes.
5. They're gone. They're gone.
Zigon.
They're gone. Back on me. Needing 6s. Gonna roll it in the thingy. 1. Didn't save it. I take a fatigue. There. And another one for the melee. Because you spent the fatigue, didn't you? That he had on my warlord.
Yes, that's right.
So that's that. He's going to say to him, move. Do you wish to slow him down?
What is he? Is he a warrior?
Yeah, he's a warrior.
No, it's fine.
Actually, no, think about it. Might get in the way a little bit.
Was that your warrior one? Yeah.
And I've got a warrior activation as well, which is here, and they're going to activate to charge. I will charge then. Okay. I've got 2 fatigue, so you could cancel my activation if you wanted. No, going with 2 then. 4, 2 fatigues. 2 fatigues for me, 1 fatigue for you. How many in my unit?
5 and 5.
You've got an armour of 5 though.
Yeah.
5. You can close ranks. No, if you want.
No.
I'll spend your fatigue. Drop you down to a 4.
So I will use one of your fatigues to put me back up to a 5, and the other fatigue to put you down to a 3.
Ouch. 5's needed. 1. Yeah, enough. No, 1 dead.
Can you?
3s. 2 dead. So I actually go back. More key is that. And then he goes back. So I've got fatigue. And that is my turn. Your turn. 2 rare, 2 uncommon, 2 of each.
Not bad.
Not too shabby. No orders reaction. Off you go. Do your work.
Concentrated volley.
On whom? Which target?
These guys.
How many are in range?
2.
2. So it's the 2 bow units, isn't it?
Yeah. So you
Again, you need 4. You need 5s. Nothing?
Nope. He'll advise them to shoot at them, and they're going to use 1 volley after another.
With a rare?
With a rare.
You've got, is it a full strength unit?
Yeah.
4, 5, 6. Off you go. Just the 1. Saved it. Your second round, same again. And you get fatigue after you shoot.
Better.
I lose 4, which is the unit. Wow.
So,
didn't even need your big gun, did you?
So I can take
that unit was there, is gone.
Yeah, so I can take the fatigue off now.
You take the fatigue off, yeah.
So next I'm going to use combined arms.
Okay, so what are you going to do? Mounted to foot or foot to mounted?
Yeah, I'm going to do mounted.
So mounted to foot or foot to mounted?
So what that was it? So activate as many mounted units as you have infantry, yeah.
So you've got 2 then?
So yeah, my warlord and my warriors.
Okay. Which one are you going to do first?
Let's do the warlord. He's going to charge your warlord.
Yep. My warlord looks... Okay, so over here we had a melee. Steve stacked the dice, and he killed my warlord. I managed to get a couple on him, but not enough to kill him. And at that point, I've conceded. So we'll have a quick chat about this. Okay, Steve. So congratulations, good win.
Thank you. Yeah.
No, not really.
Some rolls there were very good though. That first
I think honestly, I might have been a bit reckless in my play, to be fair, going forward. But I do know with the Persians, I have to get into you. If I don't get into you, it's a mistake. I mean, you use one volley after another very effectively, and you know there's only one turn. One turn you didn't have a rare on that.
Yeah, I can see that's going to get nerfed.
Yeah, I think
it's too strong that as it is.
Yeah.
Especially with the rare, I think that rare thing's going to have to change.
Yeah. Okay, so from the scenario point of view, key things are: I think you need to score more than 3. Correct me if I'm wrong. To win the scenario. Secondly, at the end of the game, if you've got units on the opponent's half of the table, and they've got to be 4 or more, or if there's a warlord, it has the presence rule, so I think he counts as well, or an Ellie does. You get 2 points for that, which is quite big as well. But you didn't need to. You just sat there and I walked onto your guns, basically.
Well, the next time I was going to move everybody up to get them further forward.
I don't think you really needed to worry.
See, that was there. The idea was...
So Steve's had unnumbered hordes. So if I killed all of those...
I'd have put them back on again.
You put them back on again.
Didn't need to, but that's what I was going to do. I was going to use one of these and just throw them at you, go through a thing, and then potentially bring them back later on.
Which is, I've never seen anybody do that, actually, Steve, to be fair, playing the Persians. So what do you think of the Persians?
Very strong.
Very, very strong.
I do. Looking at that, I think they definitely need to be nerfed. I think that one volley one after another needs to be.
You know, they've already been nerfed.
Have they?
Well, yeah, because originally, if you played them and you had the Medes, Sparabara or the combined formation, now if you're in terrain, you get minuses as well. You can't close ranks as well.
Oh, okay.
There's all sorts of bits and bobs they've done already with them. So, believe it or not, the Persians have already been nerfed, and now they still are a hugely powerful faction.
Mm-hmm.
And also, with me trying to get onto your side of the table, you're sitting there, or just walking onto your guns all the time. I think I was a bit reckless in my play, to be fair. But,
I think having these is because they're almost like a unit of Hearthguard, but for one.
Okay, it's worth pointing out. So mercs with survival points, they are worth half the value that they normally worth. Did you know that?
I didn't know, but that was just.
That's why I wanted to get my Agriarians forward, because I knew if I lost them, it was only 4 points, not 8. And like Vicky Versa, these guys, I shouldn't have charged you really. I should have gone into something else. Maybe your half guard here or something, but I didn't play it too well. Also, the other thing is with this scenario, just as a point, if you come out a little bit, there's only actually 3 pieces of terrain, so it suits the factions that like the big open wide spaces, which you do a little bit, having 2 units of cavalry and having 2 units of ranged bowmen.
A lot of their abilities rely on line of sight. Even one of the ones I didn't use.
Yeah, so this does suit you as well. Whereas, you know, in the best will of the world, if I could have got that in the middle, you were always going to, me going first, putting the terrain down. You shifted all the terrain down. So, yeah, difficult scenario to play with some factions. I think some factions are probably quite inhibited by this. If you were playing the Huns with this, it'd be fantastic. Imagine that.
Yeah, very awkward.
I can imagine the Huns really playing very well, and the Mongols as well, playing very, very well. And the Welsh, the mounted Welsh. Anyway, thanks for the game, Steve.
Yeah, good game. I do pity you, sorry, I do feel for you.
No, don't worry
If the viewers could see my face, it was quite hard.
Look, mate, I've done it to enough people in my time, so I can take it on the chin. Good game, and I look forward to the next one.
Thanks.
Right. Okay, so what I'd like to do very quickly is just review the game that Steve and I played. There were some bits and pieces in there that I got wrong. Okay, so what I'd like to do first is I want to review our game, reflect on my Macedonians, and then also just talk about the scenario and how it would play in Grand Melee. So first things first, I did kind of cock up a little bit with some bits and pieces on the rules, mostly to my detriment, which is fine. So when I charged my agrarians in, I only gave myself 4 attack dice, although it's a unit of 8 warriors. So I should have had 8 plus the additional couple. So I should have had 11 dice. Instead, I only had 7. Also, when we rolled the dice with a melee with his half guard, I thought there was no 4s, but in fact there was 1 4, so an additional half guard should have died, but that's the way it was. Steve used Azura Mazda's Flame when I charged his levy, and they can only be used on mounted and on combined formations. One that we cocked up on, we even mentioned it at the beginning of the game, and one of the bits and pieces for the scenario is called a dash of nostalgia, and basically it gives the Warlord an additional dice, as in version 1 where you got 2 instead of 1, but the mercs, they don't generate a Saga dice, which was fine. However, I charged my mercs in on turn 2, but we didn't count the Saga dice. We went straight back to version 2 standard, and although I lost the dice, we weren't adding the extra dice for my Warlord. So from turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, I was playing with 1 less Saga dice than I should have been, which was my error. But in all fairness to Steve, I think he was doing the same as well. But because he had a Merc unit, and it counterbalanced with his Warlord, which he didn't lose, so that was fine. It was my error. The Persians, as everybody knows, they're a strong faction to play against, and my tactic was to try and get in early, try and mix it with them and try and break them down a little bit. However, losing 9 phalangites or warrior Sarissa in turn 1 to 2.5 rounds of shooting with his Persians levy was really painful. I think I never recovered from that, really. I reflect upon my build with my Macedonians, and I've got 3 oversized units, and I don't think that's suited playing Steve at all. I've got my companions in a unit of 6, and I've got 2 units of Sarissa that are in units of 10. Maybe I should go on 884 with the Sarissa, but there's very little movement with the army, because all I can do is change. I can't change the mercs, I can't change the half guard, I can't change, I could change the levy for 2 units of 6, but do I want to do that? Not sure. So by creating my army before the first game, I've kind of screwed myself a little bit, and I've not given myself a huge amount of flexibility. Also with the Macedonians, I don't think there's a huge amount of flexibility there, and I would question whether they are the most strongest of factions to play in a tournament. You're going to ask me, why did you play the Macedonians? I said, well, my first army at 15 mil was Macedonians. My first army at 28 mil was Macedonians. I've always had a real big interest in them, and I love playing them. So when Age of Alexander come along, I was always going to want to play them. But yeah, not the strongest. The Persians, they certainly are. I mean, they're an immense faction. I made a mention of it at the beginning of the game with Steve's tactic of not bothering using the combined formation half guard, but he went with 2 units of levy armed with bow, and I actually think that was quite a smart move, because levy are resilient anyway. They can take a charge, and with the one shot after another ability, I think it makes them really useful. Also, he had an ability where if you completely wipe out a unit, you can refresh it. And again, I think that was a smart move by him. And he had the dice on there most of the time. So if I'd have killed, I don't know, 6 or 7 levy, he could say, okay, wipe the levy, but I'm going to refresh them all, and I'm going back to full strength of 12. Overall, holistically, when I reflect upon it now, I deserved nothing, and Steve deserved the win, and fair play to him. He sat back, shot me as I went in, and it's the way it was. So from a tournament point of view, he would have got 5 tournament points. I would have got none. However, There is a ruling in Grawn Melee where if you score more than 10 or more massacre points, they do, if you're on the losing side, you do get 1 point. And unfortunately, I didn't even get that. I think I got about 6 or 7. So again, I didn't get much for it, and I deserve what I got. But there we go. If you're watching this, with regard to my Macedonians, if you've got any suggestions on how I could have played them differently, how I could have attacked him and got more out of him, I'm really keen to play to hear your thoughts. I mean, I've still got another 4 more games to play, and I'm going to be using the Macedonians with this config for the next 4 games. So yeah, any help you can give me will be good. I mean, the first game against Tony, I only just squeezed a win because I killed that one objective marker, and that was a close game. So yeah, any help you can give me will be appreciated. Okay, so the scenarios come out of the Book of Battles. I assume it's been selected to try and get the best possible game you can, and most of the bits and pieces I like. The scenery, interesting. So you only get 3 pieces of terrain, and it would be possible if you wanted no terrain at all, and you're the first player who selects the terrain, you could have 2 small pieces of terrain and 1 large. Stuff a large one in the corner, and as I showed, as you can see in the photo, you could the first player can then move all 3 pieces by M, but M is not a great deal, and if you've got 2 other small pieces, you've got a pretty open battlefield. And if you want something to hide your bowman in the middle so you can shoot and make him come forward, then that's a loss. In this particular game I played against Steve, he had 2 units of mounted and 2 lots of range, so it suited him actually to have no terrain at all, and I had nothing to hide, nothing to screen my troops with, you know, something that's high trees, so it didn't help me. But that's the way it is. Deployment, Vanguard, it's a fairly standard set, and I've got no issues with that. Mounted range, mounted, foot ranged, and foot. So yeah, fairly standard set, LOA, and that's fine. Game length, I like 5 turns. Reality is that you want to finish the game in a tournament, and we played our game, and we played it, albeit I got massacred. We played it well inside 2 hours, which was great. Special rule, a dash of nostalgia, I touched upon that earlier. Again, yeah, no problems with that at all. Key thing is you've got to remember that you get an extra dice for your Warlord, and your mercs don't generate a Saga dice. And that was to my detriment, and if I can't learn the rules, then I deserve nothing, and that's what I got. So it is. And finally, the victory conditions, survival points. But when you look at survival points, they differ from massacre points, and the Warlord is only worth 2, plus obviously the unit, and also mercs are half value as well. So what I was trying to do was get my agrarians in, which I did and didn't, and I should really have committed my Warlord more and try to get more out of them. Also, the scenario called Carnage, if you can get all your figures over the halfway line, provided they're in 4s or more, so presence rule I assume for the elephant and the Warlord would count, you get 2 additional points, which if you've got something like a Hunnic army or a Mongol army or something that's really mobile, that could be a big advantage. One final thing I'm not sure about was the game length was a pitch battle, and it's only 5 turns long, the game, and the first player gets a full set of dice, but the second player gets 4 that he can place on his board. Now this is more than you would get with Clash of Warlords, and if you think you've got to try and get into him, as I had to, I felt at a slight disadvantage because I'm going to spend dice to get forward, and then I know that he's got 4 dice on his board to protect him, which is quite decent. To have 4 dice in your opponent's phase is a good thing. I found that quite a hard challenge. So I would say, in my opinion, albeit I've only played this config once, the advantage is definitely with the second player. So yeah, if you take the scenery, the second player the first player chooses the scenery, but the second player moves it. If you take the game length, again, the pitch battle with the 4 dice, I think there's an advantage there as well. And again, being the second player, if you're playing with the victory conditions where you've got to get over the halfway line, if you're near to it, you can get over there unopposed unless they've got some activation reaction where they can actually get into you. So yeah, but no, overall, I think it's a good set of cards, challenges to play, and I'd be interested in people's thoughts and what they've seen from my game, albeit I did play it badly, and yeah, I would appreciate all feedback, and I hope what I've offered here is positive and gives everybody a good view of what is out there. Okay, that's it.
I know in UK Grand Melee they had all warbands in mind, so different types will succeed in some, and some warbands will not do so well in others. So I believe they've tried to get a good mix, so there is parity between all the warbands over all 5 scenarios. Okay, it's really important to point out that these are my own opinions. I'm not a great tournament player. I played in a few years ago, but not many recently. So this is my assessment. Please take them for what they are. And I'm sure there are far more educated people out there with Saga experience than I have, but this is the way it is. I hope you got something out of this. If you like what you saw, like, subscribe, share with like-minded. Take care, and I'll see you all on the next one.